application is 737 Herman Road.
The next matter is to maintain chickens located at 747 Herman Road. Applicant Mary Zindel is requesting a special use permit to allow no more than 8 chickens on a 0.60 acre parcel having SBL number 064.01-2-12 located in the R2 Single Family Residential District under Section 350-40, Section 350-72A, and Section 350-75 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Hello.
Good evening.
Where should I begin?
Explain to the board why you're here tonight, what you're trying to accomplish.
Thank you. I am here requesting a special use permit to maintain my chickens at 747 Herman Road. I have 7 girls at this time. I do not have any roosters. My girls are for eggs and companionship as well as for the lessons in stewardship for my daughter who is 5 years old. They are quiet. At most you will hear them sing their egg-laying song. At the risk of embarrassing myself at a public forum, I will not sing it for you, but when you hear them going, it's because they've either laid an egg or they're about to lay an egg and they would like to tell the entire world. My neighbors right next door to me have described them as very sweet and totally harmless. They have more than enough space within their coop as well as within their enclosed run. I know that I already mentioned that I have them for their eggs, but I would like to emphasize that I do not have them for meat. They all have their own names. They are very much pets. Let's see, what else can I tell you? The coop is right next to my house. Oh, thank you. I didn't even think to look up there. So it's roughly the same color. It's right next to my house. I keep it there because there's this really nifty nook, if you will, from the back of my home that helps to weatherproof the area. With the wind that we get, this helps to keep them warmer and protected from that. It's also out of sight, and for a long time there was nothing but woods between myself and my neighbors on that side. The run, you can't really see it, which is kind of the point. The run is topped with bird netting. You can kind of see it in that right-hand photo there. And it's also fenced in. The bottom part is also fenced in with chicken wire along the fence itself. What more can I tell you from there? Oh, right, yes. So the neighborhood boasts of farm and agricultural character all around. All up and down Herman Road, Pallet Road, Van Alstyne, Drum, Shoemaker, it goes on. It's very farmy. In fact, the homes, we'll say stage left, of mine, 3 of them have chickens right next door, and they have 5 or 6 really sweet, really cuddly chickens. Next door to them, there's an entire barn of livestock, chickens, geese, some roosters, and some sweet sheep. Next to them, there's more poultry, and then of course there's the entire neighborhood flock of turkey that roam about for several months out of the year, every year. So I believe that with all of that, my chickens fit right in with the neighborhood.
You're not going to put any kind of roof on top of that?
On top of what?
On top of where your fence line is around?
There is so there's bird netting on there at this time, which is a little hard to see, but that's kind of the point. If you walked up to it, it's so it's all black. But if you walked up to it, you could see it and even touch it. In truth, in hopes of not complicating things more, I would like to build them a new coop this summer, and I would like to have an enclosed run for it. But I haven't figured out plans for that quite yet. I wanted to see how this meeting goes, of course. But it is covered right now.
You say there's other people in the area that have chickens and other farm animals. How big are their lot sizes compared to yours?
Thank you for asking. So yes, they do have 5 acres next door to me, as well as or at least 5 acres I should say, as well as the properties next to them. I realize that I have a smaller property, and please forgive me, thank you for correcting it. In my application I wrote 0.65, that was an oversight on my part. It is 0.6, as you guys corrected in the postcards. So I realize that I have a smaller property. I do realize that the neighbors do have 5 acres or more. I'm also, sorry, very close to the microphone. I'm also aware that I have more than enough space to keep healthy, safe, well cared for chickens. My chickens are not posing any trouble or nuisance, and they do fit in with the neighborhood character. So it is my hope that I can get a special use permit that will help me keep them in my smaller lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback up one more. Do you, because you have a smaller lot and they all have 5 acres, which meets town code, do you think it would be, if, let's say you did get this approved and everything, do you think it's right that everybody should have the same thing if they have a smaller, let's say even smaller lot than you did, put this up? Do you think it would do anything to the whole town?
I'm sorry, can you, my left ear's a little plugged,
No,
but
sorry
can I hear you?
What I'm saying is, you have a smaller lot, like you said. The other ones have a 5 acre lot, so they have more room. So do you think a house that sits on 0.04 acres should also get approved if you get approved for the way the town looks?
I imagine that depends on the area, and that's really, sorry.
I don't know, respectfully, if that's an appropriate question.
No, that's not, I didn't know, so just kind of
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
I was going to send it back to you and
No,
say
that's
that I
fine.
don't
No,
know
that's
that I
no
would be
big deal.
qualified to do that, but I,
I live over in that area. but-
We're gonna strike the question.
That's fine, you can strike it, it's no.
Okay. okay.
Josh, I have a question. If she does get approval tonight and wanted to build a new, she would have to go through the building process, correct? Or not?
Depending on the nature of the construction, I don't have enough details to know.
No, just that getting your special use permit does not give her like approval for,
Yeah, I mean, if she were to,
just rebuild what she has, like, versus.
right, we would only require a building permit if it's in fact a permanent structure affixed to the ground and it meets the definition of a building. My initial inclination is that this would not require a building permit, even a new coop.
Okay. I'm just trying to, if you get approval, help you pave the way for doing what you see.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
If there's no other comments from the board, I will open this up to the public. If there's anyone who wishes to speak for or against this application, if you could please approach the podium, identify your name and address, and then state whatever your comments are, please. All right, seeing no one, I will return the discussion back to the board. Before we continue, as part of the public comment, we do have several letters of support from neighbors surrounding the area. We have a letter from Benjamin Wisniewski, and he is at 756 Herman Road. Brian and Christine Ferry of 745 Herman Road are also in favor. William Borbach of 748 Herman Road is also in favor. Joseph Robach of 744 Herman Road, and Harold Gabbert, and the address is not listed other than she does live on Herman Road.
She's right next to Linda Hermans, who should also be in there as well.
And we have missed a page, but also then Linda Herman as well did say she's in favor, they're all in favor of it. What was it? Seeker. Pursuant to New York CRR section 617 of the Environmental Code, I would make a motion for a type 2 seeker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right. Discussion amongst the board members. We have done an application on Drum Road within the past year for, I believe, 8 chickens on a 0.5 or 0.6 acre parcel. 0.6 acres. We also had a similar special use permit on Maple Drive, and I believe they have the ability to keep up to 12 chickens, no roosters at either of those occasions, on a 1.9 acre parcel. And again, we also have 3 houses, the next 3 addresses also in the area, so just making note of that for previous board activity.
Myra, since you only have 7 now, and if you're limiting it at 8, would you ever consider getting a rooster, or are you okay with 7 yet?
I will not have a rooster. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I don't want to run that risk. They're also right beneath my bedroom, and I would not like to be awakened at 5 a.m.
So are roosters aggressive then?
They don't have to be, but they can be. Interestingly, they're not aggressive at all in Hawaii, but they can be here. Maybe it's winter. I don't know why.
It makes me feel pretty all right, any other comments or questions?
Josh, do we have, I may be confusing this with, not sure if it were pigs. Did we have some type of a check-in time frame?
Yes, the code allows the board to impose a condition that the applicant appear back before them at a certain period of time, up to the board's discretion, to get a report from our code enforcement officer, just to ensure that it's not creating any issues. And then the board has the ability to extend the permit up to a total of 5 years based on that. That's typically how they've handled it.
Oh, thank you. This is very small on my phone. All right, Mr. Attorney, Mr. Director, do we want to go through this criteria or just look item by item?
Well, yeah, yes, whoever's going to, but would have to be the person that makes the motion to somebody should make those findings.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm just going to start reading through these and we can discuss each one as we go.
That's fine, there are a total of 12, so there is another slide that
Okay.
has additional criteria. So whoever makes the motion, just want to be clear on that.
Okay. All right, but I believe we could use these as findings as we're discussing them. All right, the first one is the use will not prevent the orderly or reasonable use of adjacent properties or of properties in adjacent use districts. I will say that the chickens have been there for 6 years.
Correct.
5 to 6 years. When I visited the property, other than seeing one sitting quietly on the other side of the fence, I would not have known there were chickens there, so I guess I would say that this would meet that criteria. The public health, safety, general welfare, or order of the town will not be adversely affected by the proposed use in its location. Again, I don't want to dominate the conversation, but I would agree with that in this instance. The use will be in general harmony with and promote the general purposes and intent of the most recent comprehensive plan of the code of the town and ordinance for chapter 350. That section of town, I believe, is part of the large lot district for what little land is left. And the large lot district, when it was instituted within the town, was to promote, I won't say necessarily farm-like activities, but larger, more spacious, more countryside types of activities and types of living And within that neighborhood of Herman and Drum, if I go over to Van Alstyne and to Whiting and Shoemaker, does kind of all fit this character. The proposed use will not interfere with the preservation of the general character of the neighborhood in which such building is to be placed or use is to be conducted, and in fact will be compatible with its surroundings and with the character of the neighborhood or the community in general, particularly with regard to visibility, scale, and overall appearance. I would say we meet that as well. The physical characteristics and topography of the proposed site make it suitable for the proposed special use. Anyone have any comments on that? To me, the location is logical because it is in a little nook, but and there's a wooded area that's to the east of it. I can face it east of the church. To the left. The physical characteristics, all right. The proposed special use provides appropriate landscaping and/or forms of buffering to protect the surrounding land uses. The applicant does have a fence around the area, around the entire rear yard, as well as the actual chicken coop area is fenced in. So I would say that we also meet that criteria as well. Thank you. The property has sufficient, appropriate, and adequate area for the use as well as reasonably anticipated operation thereof. I would say as long as the size of the flock is limited to 8 at this point in time, they've been there, that it appears to be sufficient and that they've lived there, I guess I'll say discreetly, for several years. The access to facilities is adequate for the estimated traffic. It's not going to generate any additional traffic. It's just strictly a resident using this for her own family. The rest of it is not appropriate. Okay.
I don't know, they might need their own source.
Yeah, it might be electricity.
Sorry,
Just kidding.
I redact that.
All right, which one of you two is going to make a motion? Any other comments?
Exactly what you just did, you prefaced it with, I make the motion.
All right, I would make a motion that this board grant a special use permit to allow the keeping of chickens at 747 Herman Road for the applicant Mary Zindel. The flock, I would say, will consist of no more than 8 chickens, as it's on a 0.6 acre parcel. And I just completely lost my train of thought. The chickens will remain contained so that they're not impactful to the surrounding neighbors as best they can be. I don't know if chickens on occasion run away or not. The permit will not allow a rooster at the location. It will only be for chickens. And what do we do for the Drum Road?
For the applicant to appear before the board.
And yes, I would say that this would be a 6-month follow-up if the board does determine to grant this. And at some point in time, towards the end of that 6 months, we would expect the code enforcement officer to evaluate the use for us and then bring it back to the board to discuss allowing the use to continue or making modifications as required based on his findings. Okay, and so this is all at 747 Herman Road. It is parcel number 064.01-2-12, and it is in an R2 single-family residential district. What's the name missing?
You got size, you got number, no roosters, and need to be appear before the board.
This
That's
is
it.
what's-
Even if we did miss something, we had it again in 6 months.
and
I
second.
second.
Thank you.
Mrs. Vola,
Aye.
Mr. Santola,
Aye.
Mr. and Ms. Garrett,
Aye.
Mr. Prescott,
Aye.
Mr. Spampanato.
Aye.
All right, you do have your special use permit, and the town will, Josh, I don't know how, like, do you guys send a permit letter to the applicant, and then in 6 months you'll have to appear back before the board again, just as a review?
Yes, we will send out an official approval letter with the conditions, and we will notify code enforcement to put this on their calendar for 6 months.
Okay, and will you also notify the applicant in 6 months that they're back on the agenda?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for bearing with us.
You too.